You guys have any questions?
So when you were changing between the scenes, it was actually in the point of the measure you were in.
Yes.
In each scene, it didn't re-trigger.
Right. Exactly, because I have this off. But if I go to bar, it will do it every bar. If I go here to 1/16, it'll go every 16. If I go to scene, it'll do it at the end of the scene. So if I come here, it'll play it differently. It'll be on the beat.
I have a question. Sends and returns. Do you mind running through that with us?
Sure, absolutely. So, the way to control sends in here, your sends will live in a group. So you would create a group, come out of the scenes. We're going to go to H. I usually make the sends at the very last group. I don't like to confuse myself, so I'll come here and just call this effects. Right? So now the pads are going to be your hub, is going to be where your sounds, your effects live on the pads. Okay. You guys are like, what's she talking about? So we're going to come in here. We're going to create a reverb. I'm going to grab a reverb. Go here to machine. Let me grab a room. Big and bright. So big and bright is going to be on sound slot 1. Right? So now I'm going to come here to go to this hi-hat. Okay. Grab this guy right here. So I'm going to go into the mixer. And I'm going to open up my I/O, my plugins, and my auxiliaries. So basically, your hi-hat is here. And now you want the aux to be on the reverb, right? So you want to come here to auxiliary 1. And you want to send that signal to the reverb, which would be here. So and this is where you would control your levels. Your send levels will be here, because you're sending the sound now to that pad. So if I come back here to H and I grab a delay, go to delay and grab this guy and come out of here and grab the delay, put it on sound 2, and I go back to this guy and I go to the mixer, and and I come here. I can do the same thing that I did with this guy. I could send this guy here to the delay, and then now I have control of that here.
Only 2 octaves?
Yeah, but you can send it to whatever you want. So on H, I could have this guy, but I could load more sounds, more effects on that group. That group is my effects group, so I can load another effect on that and send it to whatever I want to send it to.
So it's only 2 per channel, and that it's
for each sound, and then you have your group level also. Hold on. Navigate. Then you have your group level also. So you can also send, you can also use the insert as well and control the levels of the reverb. This is not like a regular mixer, like I said in the beginning. It's a mixer for controlling the sounds and everything, but that kind of stuff I would use my DAW for that. If you want to have different sends and auxes and you're bouncing out, this is cool. I mean, it's an alternative, but I wouldn't use it for that.
Well, what's nice about it is you can actually have these groups of effects that you like to use.
And then create, yeah, this is true. Yeah.
How do you deal with automation? Because you don't have, so to speak, like a ramp-up curve automation, and it cuts out using the knob. What are your suggestions with that?
What do you mean?
I don't know, automate something and you'll see what I mean.
Okay. Okay. Now you guys know how to automate. You hit Shift Auto in order for you to not touch like the automation. So Shift Auto is what you want to touch. You don't want to sit there and hold auto like that. So you want to hit Shift Auto. And that's the kick. What's the question you had?
My question is, if you zoom into the automation.
Okay.
There seems to be, even if you go to a different grid, like a 132 grid or 164 grid.
Yeah.
There seems to be it's not as smooth as I would.
It's not going, no. That's just the automation that's in Maschine, yeah. That's it. And that's why it's not a DAW. Yeah, you're not going to get like, you're talking about like detail, like no. No, that's not happening. No, I mean, if you're talking about pitching and will it? I mean, you know, NI is always working on, you know, cutting edge things, and I'm pretty sure, you know, I mean, last year we didn't have a mixer, we didn't have drum synths, we didn't have sidechaining, we didn't have this, we didn't have that. We got all these great things right now, and it's just getting better. So, you know, will it not? I can't sit here and give you. I'm not working in the, you know. I'm not in the warehouse working and making software with them. I'm doing demos for you guys. But, I mean, they have great things coming. That's why we're here. Yes. You want to see the sidechaining done? Okay. Okay, so we're going to come here and let's load a sound up really quick. Let's go here to sounds. What do I want to load? Okay, so we have a sound in there. So we're going to go here to the plus sign. I'm going to shift browse. We're going to load a compressor up. I'm going to load that compressor guy up. Well, let me do it in this page so you can see exactly what I'm doing. So what I did was I loaded a compressor up. Inside of the compressor, you have the option to have a source input. And your source input will be whatever you want it to be. And it'll sidechain that sound. So I'm going to choose I'm gonna. There you go.
Does it have to, the sidechain sound you get to pick from, is that only in your group, or can you go across all groups?
You can go across all the groups. So that sidechain, I chose the kick on B1, on bank 1. I could choose whatever I wanted to choose. I chose the kick because you could hear it. It's more prominent. But you know, I loaded up the basic compressor. I didn't even go into the, you know, complete stuff or the other compressors or gates that have that input. But I wanted to just show you guys the very basic stuff that we have that comes with Maschine. You could do sidechaining with that. So if you don't have complete, or you can still do the same thing.
I have a follow-up question. Will the sidechain remade to the sound if you were to export the sound?
Absolutely. Yes. Yes. Yeah. If I drag and drop, it's going to drag and drop exactly what you're hearing. Yes. Any other questions?
Machine 2, can you import like external swing or quantize that, or do you just have the presets?
I have presets. You're talking about Logic, you bringing in, no. Yeah. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, no, it doesn't have that. It'd be cool. But, you know, you can import MIDI. You know, you can drag and drop MIDI into the pattern section of Maschine, and it will actually open up the notes.
And we all think our machine is out on the way out, right?
Talk to me later. I got some side hustles.
So I have like 10 channels open on Ableton.
Yes.
And if I have a machine as a VST loaded up on every single one, when I'm using it is that possible? And like when I have the machine hardware, how would I switch?
Why would you open up 4 or 5? Yeah, multiple.
Like if you have different songs that are set on each thing, like you have one song that you've created here and another song, so you want to switch through it and not just have it.
Not getting it?
No, I don't know why you would open up 5 different things of Maschine. Okay, this is what you should be doing. Okay, what you should do is you need to open up Maschine as a VST inside of Ableton. Follow me. So the master track inside of Ableton, on the master clips, you can actually do your tempo changes there, because that's what you're trying to do, open up tempo changes. Inside of the groups inside of Maschine, since it's unlimited, you can take the first set of groups and make it your first song. Then you hit shift and you go to the next set of groups, right? Inside of Ableton, what you do is the first 4 scenes. If the first 4 scenes are 168, you type in BPM 168 and you make your first 4 scenes that. When you go to the 5th scene and the 5th scene is 98 BPMs, Machine's tempo will change automatically. As long as the master changes inside of Ableton, it will change the clip. So you're now doing program changes. And when you change that, whatever you programmed inside of B, that's what it's going to play. Because that scene is what you're triggering. Right. You follow me? Yep. So now you have the scenes in here, which are following the scenes in Ableton. Yeah, and so and you do that in your sets. So you can have 5 sets inside of Ableton. You have your first 4, and those are 168. And then you got your next 4, they're at 80. And then the next 4. And literally, as you're going, this will follow. Yeah, and all you have to do is open up one scene. Now, if you want to get real slick about it, you open one up with Studio, and then you open up another Maschine and assign it to your Micro or your Mark II. So now you've got 2 going. Yeah. Nice, real nice. And then what you do is you put Maschine into MIDI mode. And now it's a controller for Ableton. And then so now you've got your Mark II and you're switching your scenes with the Mark II, but then your Maschine is opening up the sounds and you're actually playing it out. Yeah, you're welcome.
I have a question. When it comes to importing MIDI, can you use this as sort of a MIDI editor as well? And if you have external and I have some sounds that I got from Melodyne, vocal that was turned into MIDI notes.
Yes.
I want to use those MIDI notes
And put them on notes.
And well, yeah, make the MIDI notes become basically like drum beats and that sort of thing.
Yeah. Yeah, just drag that MIDI note right into this guy here, right into this section. Drag it in and assign it to whatever sound you want to assign it to. Yeah, and it'll play.
Now, is there a special MIDI editor in here, or do you just?
Yeah, right. Yeah. I mean, you can use your mouse, or you could use this guy. You can come here to events and, choose, whatever sound you want, and come in here and, move it up and down, and go here to pad mode. I can literally come here, do this, hold note and go up and down with my note. I can do that. I can nudge. I come here and nudge with the wheel and move my notes around individually. Also, I can come here and just choose which notes I want to move around. So if I came here and I chose this section and I wanted to take this section and bring it up or bring it down, I can do that. You see what I'm doing? Yeah, I can come up and down. I can edit with the hardware. Yeah, all in the hardware. I don't have to even look at the screen. I can just be right here and do it just like this. Yeah, and I can nudge it, move it around, and I can pitch that particular, like just change it,
Can you nudge the tempo in 2.0? So you're live, like right now I have to put Maschine in Ableton, like when I'm playing out live, so like bring it in with the tempo of the song I'm playing. Say I'm DJing and I've got a CDJ mapped to nudge the tempo within Ableton.
Yes.
Is there a native nudging of tempo within Maschine 2.0?
Yes, there is. You can come in here, and when you come here to MIDI clock or sync to external MIDI clock, you're gonna sync to that. If you're using this inside of Ableton, or you're syncing for your DJing, this is what you want to use. Right. Or you could come here into preferences, and your nudging would be right here. You see where it says sync offset slave? This is where you would start nudging. So when I'm syncing to Traktor, if I have Traktor open and I'm syncing Maschine to Traktor, it's not always right. This is where I would do my nudging.
Is that mappable? Can I map that to like a jog wheel?
No. That's in Traktor. You using Traktor? You better be using Traktor. Yeah? He's like, yeah, I am.
I have another question.
Yes.
You spoke about having a micro to change sequences that you have the capability of doing so.
Yes.
In the studio.
Yes.
Is it possible to collaborate with two people, two different studios, or one studio and one micro, on the same computer?
You can't use more than one controller with the software. Now, if you have a micro and you put it in MIDI mode, yes. You feel what I'm saying? So if I use the micro to do my scene changes, I'm putting the micro in MIDI mode, and then I'm going to my controller editor, and I'm actually creating my own custom patches. So I went into my micro. I actually went in and I said, okay, I want to trigger my scenes. My scenes start at C-2. This pad 1 is going to be C-2, and then, chromatically I programmed it, changed the colors on it. So then now when I use the micro and I'm changing my scenes, it looks super cool. But I had to go in and actually map that. But I can't play Maschine, like I can't control Maschine with the micro and this. One's gonna override the other. So you can't use two controllers at the same time. Unless your boy had like his own laptop and you guys are just like jamming at the same tempo or whatever. But no. That was the question. Okay.
I'm always curious to see if I work with different people, if we can both bring the studio to the computer. I'm sorry, two different Maschine studios.
To one software? No. Not unless that studio's in MIDI mode. If it's in MIDI mode, yeah, and that person wants to like trigger one particular group, then yeah, you map it that way. But no. You're welcome.
So I have machine following scenes in Ableton as well.
Uh-huh.
And in theory, I guess it would be scene 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah.
And it would follow the program changes 1, 2, 3, 4 in Ableton.
It'll follow whatever you program in Ableton, whatever clips.
Let's say in Ableton I set it up the same, so like 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah.
As soon as I start moving these around or duplicating, that theory kind of gets lost and it will not be like 1, 2, 3, 4. Is there a way to...
What do you mean the theory gets lost? How does it get lost?
Like let's say when it goes to number 4, it won't go, or when Ableton goes to like the clip that program changes for number 4, it won't go to 4 here.
Now, are you using 2.1?
Yeah, definitely.
And it doesn't go to that? You have it with you? Yeah. I'll look at it before I leave, and I'll see what you're doing. Yeah. It should go to 4, unless the note is just...
I just noticed, like, if you keep adding...
Now, you know also you can... Now, the other alternative is to create a MIDI track inside of Ableton. If you're not doing tempo changes...
No, that's what I'm doing. It's just a MIDI track that just tells machine, hey, go...
Now, in those clips, are you inserting MIDI notes in the clips?
No, it's just a program change.
Yeah, no. Go into each clip. So if you have a MIDI channel and you have 5 clips, clip 1 should be C-2, and so forth and so on. You have to actually put the note in each clip so that when you play the clip, it'll play the scene. So the clip will actually act as this guy. So you see this note here? This note plays that scene. This note plays this scene. So if you're shooting a clip off in Ableton, that clip should have a note. You should be writing a note in to Ableton that has this note.
It's better than, let's say you go to the settings up here, there's like a program change mode.
No. You want to do the notes. Yeah, it just makes it super easy, and then everything's labeled. It's going to play this note no matter what you do.
So in your Ableton clip, you would just draw out a long...
No, just one note. Just click. Yeah. Because once you hit the clip and it triggers that note, it's going to trigger the scene. You're welcome.
That one's been boggling.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm here for. I'll charge you later. Yes.
Question on the workflow. So you've been in standalone mode so far?
With what?
Maschine.
I've been in every mode.
But you're, well, yeah, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I'm fortunate enough that I get to train a lot of these A-list producers, and everybody has a different workflow. And the beauty about this unit is that you can do, man, there's just so many different ways to use it. You know, I use it, I can control Traktor with it, I can control Ableton with it, I can, hit shift, MIDI and open up battery, controls with it, and then go back to Maschine, and I can go back and forth shift and go here, and now I'm in my Ableton section, and I go shift here, and I can go through, all my different settings. Battery 4 is here, and then I can shift and go right back to Maschine, and I just see a lot of guys use it in many different ways, so many different ways.
So how would you go from, let's say you were happy with what you have here and you wanted to go kind of more into a traditional DAW where you may want stems or something, how would you?
Well, there's a couple of ways that I do it. I mean, the tempo is 120. I'll open up Ableton, put Ableton at 120. I'll open it up as a VST, and then I'll just open this song up inside of Ableton, and I'll commit to the audio, and I'll just start dragging my groups into clips and just listening to it. And the only thing that I would do in Ableton is add vocals or some stutters and effects and things of that sort, or tempo changes. But for the most part, that's how I use it. But if I had to send the record out to an executive and they need the stems for Pro Tools, I'll come in here and I'll go to my preferences. Well, I'll go to file, and then I would go to save the project, or I would just go to export audio. And inside of export audio, this is fantastic because I can either stem it out on a group level, where I could stem each group as a stem, and it will play it from the beginning of the scene to the end of the scenes, and just stem it all out. Or if I don't want to do that, I'll come here and go to the sound level, and if you say to me, hey, I want the entire drum kit played out the exact same way you played it, I'll hit that guy and choose what sounds that I want to send to you or not send to you. or I could just keep it like this and then just export it, and all the sounds would be in each folder. Or I can, you know, come here and just go to the master out and just, you know, bounce a 2-track out to you of the whole thing, and just send you the folder, and, you know, and then here are your options also. You know, you can normalize it. Of course, I wouldn't normalize it because I want it to sound exactly like how it sounds when I'm playing it. But you can normalize it, you know, the loop optimizes so that if you have a snare and you don't want the ring off, you know, you want to make sure you click loop optimize so it doesn't ring off when you're bouncing it out. And then your sample rate and your, you know, your bit rate, and that's it. Or you could, you know, do the drag and drop option that you have here. And, you know, when you're in the DAW, if I'm in the DAW and I'm doing it, and I come here and I just want to bounce this guy out, I just come here, I solo that. I'll come here, I'll grab that. I'm just going to drag it to the desktop so you can see how simple it is. And just do that. Of course, it's not going to play. But yeah, my goodness, hold on. Wait. Okay. Yeah, that was supposed to bounce out. Hold on. I didn't have that pad highlighted, so I'm going to hold on to that. There you go. Okay. Yeah, drag and drop it, and just, you know. So if I was in my DAW, I would do that and just drag it to a clip and call it a day. You know, my computer's slow, or it's older, and sometimes it just doesn't render, you know, properly the way I want it to. So I could have taken that and dragged it to another sound clip and just, you know, turn off whatever that plugin is that's glitching or whatever, and just keep going.
That's a wave, right?
Yes, it is. It's a wave. Yes. You're welcome. Okay. Any other questions? Miss Megan? Got any questions? Please, come on. I'm here. You got me. I'm all yours. Huh?
I'm going to need some one-on-one time.
I'll give it to you. Just feed me. I work for food. Yeah, I mean, if there's not any other questions, man, let's call it a day. Yeah? Okay, cool. Thank you.
Very much like to thank Pyramide for hosting me here once again. I think this institution is really cool, and until I came here for the first time, I had never seen anything like it in my whole life.
What I think really separates us from other people who teach is that we are outrageously passionate about what we do, and especially in electronic music.
Since coming to Pyramide, I've discovered electronic music, and you know, San Francisco being a mecca for underground electronic music opened up so many doors for me and kind of blew my mind.
We cover everything from absinthe to contact. When people get to the mind-melting level, we get into modular synthesis.
Everything about Native Instruments, everything about Logic synths down to the finest detail. We learned it all.
The fundamentals of understanding how things work, that's just essential. But then beyond that, there's so much more, and that's where it gets into just a lot of the artistic side of like the creative approach of why you do something, not just how.
There's a lot of schools that just, you know, they focus on the technicality of recording music, but I wanted something that would foster creativity and really help me develop as an artist as well.
Each of our genre-specific programs comes in 4 levels. There's a basic, an advanced, a professional, and then a master's level. And the master's level is, of course, everything we do. It's the largest and most powerful programs that we can create for you.